All right, we're going to take our acellular slime molds first. I'm only going to give you a couple of three, actually, phyla. There's a lot more than that, but we're just going to cover three. Myxomycota is the acellular slime molds. Now, they're called acellular. Think of that name. Acellular means they don't have cells. So what happens with these, they're also called plasmodial slime molds because they form this mass called a plasmodium. Now what happens here is that they undergo repeated divisions of their nuclei. So their nuclei is just dividing like crazy. And so you have this massive cytoplasm with all these multiple nuclei in there, but there's not any cell walls to divide them into individual cells. So that's why they're called acellular. Now that mass is actually called a plasmodium. This is not the same as the plasmodium that causes malaria. That's completely different. That's a scientific name for the organ, the protist that carries malaria. This is a mass of cytoplasm with just tons of nuclei in there, but there's no cell walls to divide them out. Now, what this mold does is it creeps along the forest floor and it moves kind of sort of in an amoeboid type of movement because the cytoplasm streams. So they just, you've probably seen the blob, it just kind of moves along, and as it does, it consumes the dead and decaying leaves and the other debris. And generally it does this through phagocytosis. And remember, phagocytosis was just incorporating larger bits of material into the body of the cell by the cell wall. So the plasmodial slime molds are the same as acellular. Those names are interchanged. The phylum is Myxomycota, and they're acellular because they just have multiple divisions of their nuclei, so they're called multinucleate. And after they undergo these repeated divisions, they have tons of nuclei, but there's nothing to divide them. So you just see this mass of cytoplasm with all this nuclei. Figure 23 in this chapter actually shows you a pretty good representation of what that looks like.